I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs, the show that brings great ideas for dinner into your kitchen every day. And today is a twofer. We're making a chicken base that you can turn into chicken noodle soup and a chicken pot pie. Comfort food and 2 meals in one. Joining me to make today's double dinner idea is Chef Tina Calhoun, a Florida native with roots in the South who got her culinary education hands-on from Mama Dearest?
Mama Dearest. You know, I'm a good Southern girl, raised in the kitchen, spent a lot of time cooking with my mom. Over the years, we just learned how to appreciate the flavors. And now I'm teaching my grandkids the same thing.
So how do we get started with this one base, 2 dinner recipe of chicken noodle soup and what's going to be a chicken pot pie?
Real simple. We've got our pot that's hot. We're gonna add our butter. We're just gonna give it a second to let it start warming up and melting some. And we're gonna add our vegetables. The only reason why we're adding our vegetables for soup is really just because we wanna sweat the vegetables out. We don't wanna cook them. We're not trying to saute them or caramelize them or anything like that. We're just giving them a second to kind of touch that heat and get the flavors out on them.
All right, so far we've just got some onion, some celery.
And then we're gonna add carrots. And if you notice, I've cut things up a little bit thicker. It's really a choice of yours as to whether you like thin vegetables, small vegetables, or big chunky vegetables. I like to be able to have some good solid vegetables in my soup and in my pot pies. We're gonna give it a couple minutes.
Okay.
What helps also is if we go ahead and add a little bit of our salt to it. Because you know, most things absorb that flavor of that salt and some of the seasoning during the cooking process a lot better than it does once it's finished cooking. And we're gonna give it a little pinch of pepper also.
Because to make this chicken twosome for your dinner tonight and tomorrow night, get Chef Tina's recipes for her chicken noodle soup and chicken pot pie at dinnerdeas.com. Just open the camera app on your phone as if you're about to take a photo. No, not a video, but you can just point it at the screen and a link to our site will appear. All right, so we got a little salt, we got a little pepper.
Got a little salt, we got a little pepper. We're letting it do its thing on the fire. We're gonna add a little bit of garlic. Next, we're gonna add our veg stock. You wanna assist?
I would love to. So we're just gonna add in our chicken stock here.
But keep in mind, pay real close attention to the sodium content in that stock so you don't over salt it. So we're gonna give this a second to bring it up to temp, and then we're gonna add our chicken to it. We have our rotisserie chicken from the grocery store that we can quickly just tear apart.
Now, you keeping the skin or no skin? I mean, I gotta ask you, because you know, it's a preference. If I was boiling the carcass to get the flavor to build my stock, I would definitely keep the skin because that's where so much of the flavor is at. We just want to tear this down into a segment that's going to be easy to eat and nice and comfortable to where you can make sure you're enjoying what you're doing and being able to not make a mess and wear your soup. Now, between just you, me, and everyone that's watching right now,
one or two people.
Are we cheating by getting the rotisserie chicken?
We are so cheating by getting the rotisserie chicken, and that is fine. If you have the time to do it yourself, or if you're having dinner the night before and you're having chicken left over, then wonderful. You've got the chicken, it's ready there, and you can go ahead and use it and create a second meal. We've got all of our chicken ready to go, so we're gonna add our chicken. Our stock is getting nice and warm. We're just gonna slide it in here so we don't splash anybody.
There we go.
So as we're cooking our soup, it will take a good 20 or 30 minutes to finish getting all those vegetables to that crunchy but soft texture that we want for soup. We're gonna go ahead and finish adding some of the flavorings that we wanna add, because those are the important things to make sure that they get in there and they have time to do what they wanna do. So we're doing some rosemary, because we all know rosemary is kind of that secondary thing that we wanna do when we do chicken.
Yep.
So we're just gonna crunch those dry herbs into it. If you have fresh herbs outside, don't hesitate to go snip you a little bit off and chop it up. When I do chicken noodle soup, or pretty much anything with chicken. I really love herb de Provence.
Now, a lot of people will see that on a recipe and they're like, what is it? So walk us through exactly what is inside herbes de Provence.
Herb de Provence has got thyme and oregano, and more importantly, it's got lavender in it.
So it's kind of like the greatest hits.
It's got that sage, and it's got that thyme, and it's got those herbs and aromatics in there that you really enjoy. But more importantly for me, I just love the lavender in my soup. So we add a little bit to it, and we're gonna let it, just stir it up and let it do its thing.
And now I saw something, and I'm getting a little smell of like a little lemony going on. You got thyme over there too?
I do have some thyme. Thyme, again, is one of those tried and trues for anything that's soup-based and chicken-based. You just want to add those flavors that make you think of home, make you think of comfort, make you want to curl up and have a nice bowl of soup.
I love it. And since we're not brave enough to put a watch pot, never boils, to the test, we're going to all look away, close our eyes for it there. Take a quick break with us, because when we come back, how we're going to turn this base into 2 delicious dinners, that's ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Today, we're bringing you not 1, but 2 ideas for dinner, thanks to Chef Tina Calhoun from Fresco's in Lakeland. She's sharing her recipe to make one base into a chicken noodle soup and the other for a chicken pot pie. Before the break, we started our base by heating butter and sauteing onion, celery, and carrots, adding in our chicken stock, some shredded rotisserie chicken, and a selection of seasonings. Now that's all come up to a beautiful boil. We're dividing it into what's going to be 2 delicious dinners.
Yes, we've got our chicken noodle soup that we're getting ready to cook our pasta for, and we've got our chicken pot pie starting on this side.
Now, you like to cook the noodles separately. You're not throwing them straight in.
You know, everybody has their preference. Also, it gives me the option of being able to store my soup and not have to worry about the pastas over absorbing the stock. I do believe that's kind of a restaurant little trait.
Sure.
But in the same sense, it makes it nice at home too.
Can I go ahead and start
right
adding it?
ahead, add it. We've already salted our water.
And what type of noodles am I pouring in?
Some little itty bitty ones.
Now, but it's purposeful.
It's
purposeful for why you're adding it to your dish here. Okay.
We're using these cute little pastas because, again, they won't absorb a lot of that liquid.
You can even use chickpea noodle if you want to have it gluten-free too.
Right.
It sounds like.
And it's another good one that you definitely want to cook ahead of time and keep separate, because anybody that has intolerances to gluten and use the chickpea pastas or any other type of pastas, they know that if it sits in the liquid too long, it will totally destroy it.
All right, so then we can let the soup do its thing over here while we focus now on this beautiful pot pie.
We're going to start adding our vegetables. We got green beans going in. They're small cut. We got some nice white and yellow corn going in. Nice thing about pot pie and even soups, you can add anything that's in your fridge. Don't hesitate if it's something that you want to get rid of, and clean that fridge out.
If you had frozen vegetables for this dish, 1, is that okay?
Yes, definitely okay.
2, would I have to let that thaw out first, or could I just add the frozen vegetables straight in?
You can add them as you go. There's not anything that says that you have to wait or thaw them out or anything. Just remember that it will bring your stock temp down, so you're going to have to give it a little more time to finish heating back up.
Okay. To make either or both of these ideas for your dinner, we have Chef Tina's recipes for the chicken noodle soup and the chicken pot pie at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code down in the corner of the screen to grab it. All right, so we've got everything going for our chicken pot pie. How are we gonna make it into what you want of that, thick, kind of flavor, that
heavy
gravy?
So there's a couple ways that you can do it. If you have gluten allergies, you can always opt to do cornstarch in it. Always take your cornstarch and slurry it down in some water. Or you can use flour, which is kind of your traditional style. So we're just kind of giving it a nice stir. We want to make sure all of our lumps are out, because if we have lumps in the bowl, we'll have lumps in our soup. But you can give it a nice little stir. Get all your little lumps out. And then as you can see, we've got a nice little boil starting in our pot. We're just going to take our little spoon and we're just going to add it in, stirring while we're doing it so we can see where our thickness is.
Love it.
We're not going to add it too fast. We're not rushing it. We've got to give it time to do what it's supposed to do, and that's to tighten up that broth.
And while our noodles finish cooking and our pie filling thickens, we're taking a break. And when we come back, how to use store-bought pastry for the perfect pot pie ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, and it's a double idea for dinner today. Both conveniently from the same guest, Chef Tina Calhoun from Fresco's in Lakeland. She's been showing us how to make two dishes from the same base, chicken noodle soup and chicken pot pie. Before the break, we divided up our base and got our noodles cooking and added to our pot pie fillings a little bit of green beans, corn, peas, plus a nice little slurry of flour mixed with cold water. Now, our noodles are done for the soup, and the pie filling looks like it's kind of ready.
It is ready. It's ready to go in the dish.
All right.
Are we ready to assemble?
Let's go for it.
So we're just going to add this to that desired height that we want.
Now, which height do you want? I mean, what's the perfect balance of,
more or less?
Is it going to flow over the top? Are we having to go swimming for it? Or is it like a nice I
don't know. How many times have you made a pot pie that it hasn't boiled over?
I don't know. I would say probably it kind of comes with the territory too, I think.
It does. So we always want more, so we fill it up as full as we can.
We get so excited, right? When it's like good food, you just jump in, you're like, I want more right now.
And then we're like, shucks, we gotta clean the oven out.
Now, could you save the rest for another pie though?
You always can save the rest. You can even make it soup and just make it a cream-based soup. So it's not like you can't do.
So we're going from 1 to 2, even down to 3 ideas right there. You just have so much versatility with one base.
Look, while you're waiting for the 30 minutes for the crust to bake, you can have you a cup of soup.
It's like a little starter for all
done.
All right, so what's the trick then to having a nice, keep you kind of in that whole, make it easy for you?
Make it easy for you. So store-bought crust. Store-bought crust is always easy, whether it's puff pastry or regular pie dough. You've got 2 different options. Just let it temper in the fridge till you get to a nice consistency that you can work with it. The nice thing is today they've got everything in nice sheets that are already kind of pre-planned for you. So I always like to just kind of prejudge myself to see whether I'm where I need to be. And it's still nice enough with a little flour on your fingers, you can just stretch it out to where you need it. So we kind of moved this out earlier before we got started. So we're just going to slide this over. And as we do, if we still need to pull it a little bit, we've got the ability. I like to take and tuck mine down into the side so it doesn't hang over. But that's also because that way it doesn't get all overcooked on those little spots. So we've got a nice little pot pie all set. Always remember when doing a pot pie, you want to definitely vent it. It'll prevent some of the boiling over, but not all of it.
Yeah.
So we're just going to give it a couple holes. Whatever design you like, if you like swooshes and cuts and stuff, it's really your preference. They do tend to close up a little bit. Sometimes they do to have a little of the base come out of them. So we've got this all ready. We're going to put it in an oven at 350.
All right. I will help you here. And how long will it need in the oven?
Everybody's oven's different. Usually it takes about 30 minutes.
Okay.
If you've got a stubborn oven, just keep an eye on it until you get a nice golden brown.
And we've got one that we made earlier, ready to go.
And as we were joking earlier about it boiling over, we always want to make sure we put a separate pan underneath it so we can make sure that we don't have to clean our oven up at the end.
Look at how beautiful this looks.
So we've got a nice, beautiful crust. Again, I popped holes in this the same way we did on the other one. As you can tell, there's nothing there. We just see a little bit of the excess on the sides. So we've got a nice, solid crust ready for enjoying.
And that'll absolutely feed the family.
This will definitely feed the family.
Absolutely.
Depending on the size of your family and how hungry your family is.
Exactly.
I mean, I've had friends that this is a meal for 2. Others, this could be a meal for 6.
Hey, you know, it happens. It happens. All right, so we've got the pot pie ready. Noodles we already cooked. Can I go ahead and add those in?
We're going to add those in.
Okay.
So because we're adding them in at the end, we've got that desired texture that we want on them. You may not need all of them.
Okay.
But we got a nice, heavy-duty, chunky chicken noodle soup here. If you're thinking that you won't be able to eat it right away because you've got something going on, save those noodles till later on when you get ready to eat. Definitely put them in your bowl and put the soup over top of it. Even if the noodles are at room temperature, that stock being hot will pop that heat into the pasta, and you don't have to worry about it. It'll be ready to eat.
All right, now I'm getting hungry. Can we start serving it up?
We definitely can.
I love it.
So, you want to serve the soup?
Sure. Oh, yeah. Kind of fun because now you get to kind of play with like which ones you want. Like I'm staring at that piece of chicken. That one looks good to add into it there. That carrot, yeah, that's the one I want.
That's the one. You got to enjoy the silence when food starts getting dipped.
Exactly.
So
2 dinners, boom, just like that.
Nice
because
and
to have
easy.
Chef Tina's 2 for your dinner tonight and tomorrow night, or if you're really hungry, you are allowed to have both tonight. Chef Tina said so. It's okay. You have permission to do that, but you can get all of the recipes with all of the ingredients, the amounts, and the directions at dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code on the screen to grab it. And while you're there, send us a photo of you made anything from the show. That's what Helen did. She's watching us down in Bradenton, and she made the sourdough loaf recipe shared by Chef Jim Angus and told us, "This is my first go with bread breaking. It's fun. The taste is great. Helen, first time out of the gate. Look what you did, girl. That is amazing. Congratulations. It looks beautiful. All you're missing is me with a little bit of butter. I'm telling you, I want some of that right now." And when we come back, tasting time times 2 as we give our verdict on Chef Tina's chicken noodle soup and chicken pot pie ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Today, my guest is Chef Tina Calhoun from Fresco's Southern Kitchen and Bar in Lakeland, and she's been showing us how to make not 1, but 2 dinners from the same starting point, chicken noodle soup and chicken pot pie. But the only question I really have is, which one do we eat first?
That's the question.
All right, I'm going pot pie.
I'm going soup.
All right, cool. Very nice.
Very nice, yes.
All right, walk me through the soup, because now I'm going in for this bad boy.
Soup is very nice. It's light, definitely has some texture. The noodles held up beautifully. Mm-hmm. Nice chunks of chicken and vegetables.
But all of your spices, all those flavors, the herbs de Provence, the thyme, that rosemary, the ground sage, you can taste all of that.
Different flavors, different palates off your tongue, yeah.
Complement it all with the rotisserie chicken, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, you haven't gone into that pot pie yet. I'm going back for a second bite on this one because it's that good. It's absolutely fantastic. What you did here, and I mean, having a base to work from is really good. It's like what Yogi Berra used to say. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. You did. You went down there, but you diverted and you were able to bring so much behind it. That roux thickened it so nicely. And you know, having already things that are in the freezer aisle, like you're having a dough that you can be able to put out there. That's really nice. It's a quick fix to be able to say, hey, look, we've got, we had the soup, we made leftovers from it, we spread it out, now we've got a pot pie for you. Like, there's versatility in this dish.
Home cooking doesn't really mean that you have to scratch everything. It means just having the time to make it at home. So taking those little shortcuts make things a little more accessible.
Yeah.
I think today we've kind of stepped away from the accessibility of the kitchen and being able to have the luxuries of the things that we can purchase at the grocery store to divert to those quick fast foods or delivery services. So having something that just brings you back home is always nice.
Well, thanks so much to Chef Tina. DinnerDeas.com, which is where you can get her recipe for this chicken noodle soup and the chicken pot pie. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Philbin, and see you next time for more Dinner Diaz.